The first to be discovered was Australopithecus africanus, lived 2.9 million years ago, walked upright, and even though the proportional limbs were ape-like, Lucy, a female skeleton of hominid called Australopithecines afarensis from 3.18 million years ago. Her brain was small. The shapes and proportion of the limbs indicate that she stood upright and walked bipedally. Even better, evidence of bipedal locomotion comes from a trail of footprints dated about 3.7 million years ago. Mosaic evolution. Different body parts change at different rates and different times. The Australopithecines were ape-like above the waist, a small brain, and human-like below the waist, like erect. Shows that humans' characteristics did not evolve all at the same time. Fossils are assigned to the genus. The brain size is 600 or greater. The jaw and teeth resemble those of humans. Tool use is evident. Habilis, between 2. and 1.9 million years ago, made us central to the modern humans. Brain size is 45% larger than Australopithecus afarensis. The teeth are small, so were probably omnivores, ate meat and plants. Use crude tools to strip meat from bones. Early skulls suggest that the speech areas of the brain were enlarged. The ability to speak may have led to hunting cooperation. Some may have remained plant gatherers. Both hunters and gatherers more likely ate together and shared food. In this way, society and culture could have begun. Culture and capacity to behave are examples of intellectual achievement. Depends on the capacity to speak and transmit knowledge. The advantages of having a culture may have hastened the extinction of the Australopithecines. Fossils are found in Africa, Asia, and Europe, dated between 1.9 and 0.3 million years ago. All fossils are similar in appearance, though several different species may have included this group. Some suggest that the African form is Ergaster. Had a larger brain, a flatter face than Habilis. The nose projected in a hot, dry climate, it removes water before the air leaves the body. Ergaster was much taller than other hominids. Males were about 6 feet, females were about 5 feet. They were erect and had a stringed gait-like arch. The size of the birth canal indicates that infants were born immature and required long periods of care. They have first appeared in Africa and then migrated into Asia and Europe. The first hominid to use fire and use more advanced tools than earlier species. Most researchers believe that modern humans evolved from an erectus lineage in Africa, but details regarding when actually differ. Due to the fuzzy dividing lines, wide geographic movements, and the presence of multiple species. Within 100,000 and 200,000 years ago, there may have been multiple human lineages. For example, Erectus, Neanderthals, Sapiens, and several recent discovered new species. Model, the most widely accepted hypothesis for the evolution of modern humans. Modern humans evolved from earlier species only in Africa, and then migrated to Asia, Europe, where they replaced early species. The multi-regional continuity hypothesis, a hypothesis opposing the replacement model. Modern humans arose from early species in the same manner in Africa, Asia, and Europe. Multi-regional, that is, it applies equally to Africa, Asia, and Europe. Genetic continuity will be found between modern populations and early in these regions. Discovery of new species, possible combination of multi-regional and replacement models. Massive broad ridges, nose, jaws, and teeth protruded far forward. The forehead was low and sloping, and the lower jaw lacked a chin. According to the replacement model, Neanderthals were eventually replaced by modern humans. This has been challenged by the studies that shows that the 1 to 4% of the genomes of non-African sapiens contain remnants of Neanderthal genomes. Slightly larger than sapiens, were heavily muscle and bones, and the limbs were shorter and thicker than modern humans. Most live in caves, but they also may have built houses. They made and used stone tools and fire. They buried their dead with flowers. Cro-Magnons, the oldest fossil to be assigned sapiens, were the modern humans who entered Asia and Europe from Africa around 100,000 years ago. Had a modern appearance, not interviewed with Neanderthals, made advanced stone tools. Comparatively, may be responsible for the extinction of many large animals, may have been the first to have a language, sculpted small figures out of reindeer bones and antlers, and drawings of animals on cave walls in Spain and France. Human variation evolved as adaptation to the local environment conditions. For example, skin color. Darker skin is protective against the ultraviolet rays in the bright sunlight. White skin ensures vitamin D production of the skin when the UV intensity is low. Animals in colder regions are bulkier. Animals in colder regions have shorter limbs, digits, and ears. Helps regulate the body temperature by increasing surface to area to volume ratio in hot climates and decreasing the ratio in cold climates. The Maasai of East Africa are tall and slender. The Eskimos who live in northern regions have a bulkier build with shorter limbs.